Welcome to another exciting episode of AP Computer Science. Make sure to have your writing utensils handy to take copious notes. When designing a class, one of your jobs is to define the attributes of the class. Java allows two different types of attributes, objects and primitive data types. Using objects as attributes will come naturally as soon as you become more used to OOP. Java provides several primitive data types that store basic information and uses objects to fill in the gaps that are not provided with the primitive data types. As the name suggests, primitive data types are very basic in nature. In this lesson, you will declare variables, store values in them, learn operations to manipulate and use those values, and print out the values using system.out.object. An identifier is a name that will be used to describe classes, methods, constraints, and variables. The rules for naming identifiers in Java are: identifiers must begin with a letter. Only letters, digits, or underscores may follow an initial letter. A blank space cannot be used. Identifiers cannot be reserved words. Reserved words, or keywords, are already defined in Java. Java is a case-sensitive language. That is, Java will distinguish between upper and lowercase letters in identifiers. Therefore, grade, and grade with a capital G, are different identifiers. Be careful when naming identifiers and when typing them into a code. Be consistent and don't use both upper and lowercase names for the same identifier. A good identifier should help describe the nature or purpose of whatever it is naming. For a variable name, it is better to use grade instead of G. Remember that the goal is to write code that is professional in nature and other programmers need to understand your code. The reserved words in Java must be typed in lowercase text, but identifiers can be used using any combination of upper and lowercase letters. The following conventions will be used. A single word identifier can be written in lowercase only. Class names will begin with uppercase. If an identifier is made up of several words, all words beyond the first will begin with an uppercase. Identifiers used as constants will be fully capitalized. Java provides 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, and boolean. The data types byte, short, int, and long are for integers, and the data types float and double are for numbers with decimal places. Double is any signed or unsigned number with a decimal point. Doubles cannot contain a comma or any symbols. A double value can be written using scientific notation. Character type consists of letters, digits 0 through 9, and punctuation symbols. A character must be enclosed within single quotes. Programmers use a single quote to represent char data and double quotes to denote string types. To use either of these characters in a string literal, such as system.out.println statement, you must use an escape sequence. Java provides escape sequences for unusual keystrokes on the keyboard, and here's a partial list. The last primitive data type is type boolean. This is used to represent a single true-false value. A boolean value can only have 2 values. In a Java program, the reserved words true and false always reserve to these boolean values. A variable must be declared before it can be initialized with a value. The general syntax of a variable declaration is data type, variable name, semicolon. The variable can be declared in a class, outside of any method, or inside a method. Variables can be declared and initialized in one line. The following code illustrates the aspects of variable declaration and initialization. The first is declared and initialized, and the second is only declared. Multiple variables can be declared on one line. Initialization is done using the assignment operator. Initialization can occur at declaration time or later in the program. The variable sum is declared and used in the same line. Where variables are declared is a matter of programming style and need, since this determines how and where they can be used. System.out.object is automatically created in every Java program. It has methods for displaying text strings and numbers in plain format on the system display, which is sometimes referred to as the console. Method system.out.println displays, or prints, a line of text in the console window. When system.out.println completes its task, it automatically positions the output cursor at the beginning of the next line of the console window. This is similar to entering the Enter key. The cursor is repositioned at the beginning of the next line. The expression from the statement uses the AND operator to add a string. Java defines the version of the AND operator for string concatenation that enables a string and a value of another data type to be concatenated or added. The result of this operation is a new string. The result of formulas using strings may also be printed. Here is how the placement of quotes affects the output. The assignment statement has the following basic syntax. Variable equals expression. The assignment operator assigns the value of the expression on the right to the variable. This is not the same as saying a equals 5, but it's more like a receives the value of 5. The expression can be a literal constant value such as 2, 12.25, t, or it can also be a numerical expression involving operand variables or constants and operators. Java provides 5 math operators: addition, as well as unary addition; subtraction, as well as unary subtraction; multiplication, floating point, and integer division; modulus, remainder of an integer, or a floating point division. To obtain the answer of 5.5 to a question like 11 divided by 2, we must cast one of the operands. The casting operands are unary operators with the following syntax. Type, operand. Primitive booleans don't use math operators, but do have an operator called the logical not operator that flips the value of a boolean. Java also follows PEMDAS when it comes to math operators. The statement number equals number plus 5 is an example of an accumulation statement. The old value of number is incremented by 5, and the new value is stored in numbering. The statement can be replaced as follows. Java provides the following assignment operators. The increment and decrement operators can be written with either as a prefix or a postfix unary operator. If the double and sign is placed before the variable, it's called a precrement operator, but it can follow after the variable, which is called a post-increment operator. Before looking at the difference between prefix and postfix unary operators, it is important to remember that Java operators solve problems and often return values. Just as assignment operators return a value, the double and double negative operators return values. The statement b equals double and a uses the pre-increment operator and increments the value and returns a new value of a. The statement b equals a double and uses the post-increment operator and returns a value of a and then increments a by 1.